Hello, this is Lisa Phillips, video blogging for Bigger Pockets. Today is having pride in your low-income rental. This is going to be part of the I'm Not Going to Live There series, and it's part one. The later part of the series, I'm going to go more specifically into when people say I'm not going to live there, so I'm not going to pay for this or that, how that can be very detrimental, and how you have to be a little bit more strategic and not just say, just because I'm not going to live there, I'm not going to pay for any improvements to the property. I just want to caveat that I firmly believe that if you have a bad tenant story, that has less to do with an entire demographic or area and more to do as far as you as an investor in your tenant screening process. And I also would like to caveat that by saying that if you actually are in an area where you can get absolutely no good applicants, well, that has more to do with you choosing the wrong kind of area. Maybe you chose a war zone when you were looking for a working class neighborhood. Maybe you chose a place that get tons of criminal activities when you really just wanted something that was low price but didn't have all the crime. And instead of denigrating all working class or low income investing as if it's beneath you because it comes with so much headache, I really want us all to look at ourselves and see what we did. I know I've made mistakes in this game that I've learned from, so now I know that a lot of the mistakes I had in the past were more because I hadn't built up my skills yet as a rental property investor. Not that I'm going to blame an entire demographic or group of people or subsection of society for my own mistakes. So when I say pride in your rental, do you have a rental property that you would be quite proud to show anybody at any time? You have choices when you get to rental properties. You can choose to keep you can choose to keep old, barely functioning windows. You don't have to purchase new ones in order to get a tenant. But what kind of tenant will you get? You can choose cheaper office type carpet for an install versus going with the nicer, more natural lived-in carpet type that costs a little bit more. You can go for cheap vinyl in the kitchen, the cheapest that you can find at Lowe's or Home Depot, or you can upgrade to tile. And then you can choose to keep the appliances that might be from 1982, even though it's 2014. You can choose to do all of these in the rentals, especially in lower income rentals, but are you proud to show that off? If you've done everything well and all of the above still works fine and you're quite proud and you would show anyone your rental, even in lower income neighborhoods, then I think you have probably a little bit more weight to say you can be successful in that field or not. However, if you are a rental property investor and you wouldn't show anybody any pictures of your renovated property because you don't want other investors to like laugh or be snarky about how bad the renovation is or how low end the renovation is, well, maybe your horror story stems from what you put out into the world. You put out into the world a product that's very not of high quality, very used, very old. Well, maybe you're not going to get the tenant that likes to keep things looking nice and looking warm. You're going to get tenants who don't care about what their surrounding looks like or have no choice, and is that necessarily the best tenant for your rental property? Now, I'm not saying that I've done a lot of upgrades in my lower income rentals. I don't have dishwashers. I don't have garbage disposals. I have inexpensive curtain rods and the cheapest door handles you can get, and all stock items from Lowe's or Home Depot when it comes from looking at fixtures for water or sinks and lights. But I'm very proud of that I put a nice paint color on the wall. I'm proud that I did tile floors versus vinyl, and that I did a very thorough deep cleaning, and that when the windows needed to be replaced, I replaced them for more than just my tenant's sake, which it helps them, but also for the longevity of my asset that I'm purchasing for long term. And so what I wanted to do with this blog is to say, hey, if you're going into a low income neighborhood, that's okay. If you're purchasing the price asset for a lower price, well, that's great as well. But when it comes to doing the renovations and getting it ready to be ready for your tenants and your clients, well, have a little pride in what you're doing, and don't let the words just because I'm not going to live there, I don't need to do this. Because at the end of the day, if you're giving that house less than your best, the tenant's going to walk into that house or potential client and see that you gave it less than your best. and they're going to give you less than their best because you really just from the outset set your standards by how you fix the place up. And it's intuitive and people will pick it up immediately and I think act correspondingly. So I think for success in these lower income neighborhoods, you don't have to upgrade, but whatever you do, you do a good job of it and you make it so that you would live there. And don't let those nasty words, I'm not living here, so blank, creep into the equation. Because I have a very strong feeling that's when a lot of the problems come in, because you're giving it less than your best because you're not going to live there, but it's okay for someone else to live in a less than solid, warm, safe, and cozy, and waterproof and leak-free home to rent. So this is Lisa Phillips, video blogging for Bigger Pockets. Thank you very much.